All right. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to apply for revolving lines of credit, which is a very great question because here's where you have to pay the most attention. All right. You have to understand that sometimes you may get denied and those type of things. So what do you do? What is the best structure? How do you apply for these revolving lines of credit? Okay. How do you do it? Well, some of the things you want to do is you want to make sure at this stage, when you are applying for business credit, you want to make sure, for number one, it's a business credit card application. Because a lot of times, the credit companies will throw out an application. They want a lot of your personal information. Make sure that you're applying for a business credit card. And make sure it's a revolving line of credit because previously we've already built the net 30 accounts. We built the net 30 accounts. We've built a couple of revolving trade lines that were a lot easier to get to help build the credit faster. But now we're talking about the real revolving trade lines that you're going to be attempting to get from the banks. And you have to know which banks and how to apply the method, right? So again, make sure it's a revolving line of credit. How do you know? Once you see terms on there, like this credit card has an APR, annual percentage rate, and then you know it's not just a purchase account. And to be sure, it doesn't have a personal guarantor or guarantee. You want to look for different words in the contract of the credit card. If they say something like this is joint and several liability, that means that there is a guarantee that needs to be on this credit card. Not to say that it's okay if you have to have one, but just be on the lookout because you may be looking for one that doesn't require a guarantee. So you want to investigate who the credit card issuer is, who the credit card issuer is, so that you can diversify your credit card holdings. What I mean by that is you should have cards from a diversity of different issuers. Now, there are typically 7 big issuers, and you have Bank of America credit cards, you have American Express, you have Chase, Capital One, Citibank, Wells Fargo, and Discover as your big 7 credit card companies. And so if you're denied by these companies, then okay, we didn't do something right in the beginning. Because remember, by now, you should have had like 10 revolving, you should have 10 open net 30 accounts that's been paid off. All right. You should have gotten somewhere. You should have paid off some credit cards, not credit cards, but you should have paid some lines of credit on the net 30. You should have went and bought something that's like $500 to $2,000 or greater that you paid off. All right. It's not, now you upgrade from the $50, right? So now you're going to go to $500. Okay. The reason why you're going to $500, because think about it. Once you start getting a credit card, the credit card companies normally start you off with a smaller balance. So whether it's $500, they have to see that you at least paid off $500. If you want $1,000, they have to see at least you paid off $1,000, and you paid it off very good and very easy, right? So so applying for those credit cards in the beginning, you may expect to get a smaller amount when you're first starting off. They want to make sure that you can pay. So if you're ever denied when you're just establishing, well, take notes and learn from the denial. Learn throughout the credit, there's different reasons that you can be denied. You can have too many inquiries. You can have an insufficient credit history. Too many inquiries mean that you just going out and applying for credit, not thinking about that inquiries matter. Those are called hard pulls, and they actually hurt your credit. Then you're looking at the credit history, you don't have enough. You're just starting off. So the banks are looking at you as a high risk. And then you can have errors on your credit for mistaken identity because you may sound like another business. And then if you have any credit delinquencies, you might as not even try to apply. All right. If you got denied and you don't have any of these type of things, well, then apply for something else. If you don't have credit delinquencies, too many inquiries, insufficient credit history, errors of mistaken identity, maybe the bank just doesn't feel that you're ready to be banked by them. So it's okay to apply for something else at that point. when your credit denial does not result because of serious delinquencies, merged credit profiles, excessive utilization of credit, using over 75% of your total available credit to excessive inquiries, 10 in the last 12 months. And here's one thing you should notice about business credit, guys. Notice it says 75% of available credit. Anything over 75% as a business can hurt your credit, whereas personal credit, what is it? 35%, 30 to 35% can hurt your credit. So you have more extension to use business credit rather than personal credit. So, all right. So here's a very important thing to remember. Do not, I repeat, do not apply for more than 2 credit cards issued by the same bank. So what we're going to do in the next sections down the line is we're going to break down who banks with Citibank, who banks with, GE, who banks with who, so you'll know. This is why it's very important to understand what's going on when you're looking at these banks. All right. So which revolving accounts to apply for and when? Let's talk about Citibank cards. All right. First step when you're talking about these type of cards is, look at these are actually office store revolving accounts. So when you're setting up your revolving credit accounts and you're about to go after, the easiest to get would be your office store revolving accounts. Those are your Office Depot and Staples. They're issued by Citibank, so only apply to one card at a time. Do not apply for both cards at a time. One or the other, not both. Now, once you're approved, you can apply for the other card within 3 to 6 months or later. If you're turned down, you have to wait 90 days before reapplying. So what we have again is we put it on our calendar, put 90, 95 days out just to be sure. Then we put it back on our calendar and we'll reapply. But while we're denied, we're going to go ahead and build more 30-day net 30 accounts to make our credit stronger and make sure that we pay them earlier. Now, if your business successfully passed the credential check that we did earlier in the lessons and you don't have any of these delinquencies, all right, then we can go ahead and play with these cards right now. We can actually apply for the cards right now. All right, so see the PDF that I got in there is going to be labeled revolving credit cards. If everything checks out, definitely go ahead and apply. It's a science to the madness. So which revolving accounts to apply for when backed by Citi? So before moving forward, at this particular point, we need to make sure the business has the following established. Within the 3 credit bureaus, you want to have at least one trade line, net 30 or revolving with a credit limit of $500 or higher. Now, bear in mind, we still have our 5 or 10 net 30 accounts. 10 net 30 accounts will make it stronger, but out of those net 30 accounts, you want to have at least one with $500 or higher. All right, because you're asking for credit. They got to be able to see at least you paid $500 off a net 30, account. Now, so if not, purchase something from that vendor worth $500 or higher as your largest purchase. Now, if your business meets this criteria and you have the $500 and you have it on your net 30 account, well, okay, we can apply for another Citibank commercial card that's backed by Citi. Again, see the Citi PDF. But just to give you some examples, these are going to be next year pretty much your gas cards. So you're going to look at Shell. You're going to look at I call them Snowco, but they call it Sunoco. And we're going to look at ExxonMobil. We're going to look at Sears on a net 30. We're going to look at Home Depot. Again, if you turn down for any of these, wait 90 days before you reapply for another Citibank card, because you're going to automatically, or you may be automatically turned down if you don't get approved, by Citi. But at the same time, if you don't get approved and you have those things going on, go ahead and apply for a Capital One Visa business credit card. But make sure your personal credit is good, because Capital One, they're going to look at all 3 credit bureaus of your personal credit to determine, and so you'll be kind of a guarantor. But the good thing about it is Capital One also reports to all of the business credit bureaus to show that your business paid it on time as well as your personal. So that's a good thing as well. All right. So now you want to look at some revolving accounts to apply for when you're dealing with GE Capital and Key Bank backed cards. Now this is step number 3. At this particular time, your company should have at least 10 or more net 30 or revolving accounts. You should have 5 or more accounts reporting to Experian and Equifax based upon the previous things that we said put together on the credit report earlier. It'd be the net 30 accounts and all those other accounts, that's beginning to report on your credit. See, by this time, you're actually building credit. You probably got about $2,000 worth of a credit limit on your credit report. You're reporting to Experian. You're reporting to Equifax. You have Dun & Bradstreet reporting. You have over 10 net 30 accounts. You have a couple of revolving credits accounts already on your credit report of $2,000 or higher. Now, if you meet these criteria, you have a good chance of getting approved for any card backed by GE Capital, and which will include Amazon.com, Sam's Club, Walmart, Lowe's. GE backed cards also report to your personal credit. But that's kind of like a minor thing when you're getting your foot in the door to establish credit. So you want to do right by GE, because doing right by GE, paying your bills on time, if you keep building with them, paying all of your balances up front, GE is that company that will give you and extend to you a credit line up to $100,000. So do well by GE. Like I said, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. You're going to build it over 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to a year. So following this formula, you're going to have a good chance of getting approved by MasterCard from Key Bank, issued by Citibank, and that's where you want to be. So you're building on your credit, and you're getting the credit cards. After you do all those things, your 4th step is you're going to build that revolving account. Maybe 3 months down the line, you're going to go to the 4th step. See, all of this is in 3-month increments, guys. 3-month increments. It's steps laid out 3-month increments. So that 4th step, you're going to set up a Dell business credit. Maybe by now you're going to need some computer equipment for your home, for your business, and you should have a high credit of about $5,000. And there shouldn't be any liens against your UCC liens or filings against your company's assets at this net 30 accounts. You have $2,000 revolving accounts. You've been paying your bills on time. Now you're ready to go to Dell and get the computers for your business. So you have a good chance of being approved if, none of these things has happened to you. You got a really good chance of being approved. So then you apply for Dell Business Credit. Apply for Dell Business Credit. Now, which revolving accounts to apply for and when? Well, guys, this is a very deep question, and it's a great question. This is step number 5. And in step number 5, this is the easiest way to get a bank loan. And here's the thing about a bank loan. You have to realize that a bank is not going to touch you in the beginning. I talk to bankers all the time, and they say, well, they don't have any experience. We can't just give them any money. So how do you begin to get a bank loan? And it's nothing wrong with going ahead and opening up a bank account, taking $1,000 in cash to start or more. Don't be afraid to put your money into a COD, a certificate of deposit, or CD, and ask them to loan your business the same amount using the CD funds as collateral. So most people, they start off with $1,000 or something like that, $500 with personal credit. But with business credit, I would definitely, if you had the money, start off with more money. So what you're going to essentially do is use your money as credit, and the bank is going to report that you paid it on time. So whether it's $1,000, whether it's $5,000, whether it's $20,000, whether it's $40,000, ask your bank what's the max. If you have the max, you don't have to live off that max, and you can use it as a credit card so the bank can see that you can pay yourself back first. After you pay yourself back, 9 times out of 10, they're going to extend that over into a business loan, a business credit card. Now you're building that relationship with the bank now. Just keep paying everything off, paying your balances off up front. You're going to build credit much faster if you're willing to fork out a little bit of money to invest into your business credit. This is how you play the game. This is how you pay off loans. You pay off loans, you take your own money and you get started. You use your own funds as collateral. I mean, nobody's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself, right? So you build business credit much faster when you're willing, like I said, to take money and invest into it. Now, if you do that, you can apply for a bank loan after 9 to 10 months after building business credit. And see, most banks, they don't even advertise secure loans. So you want to talk to your banker because it's not something that they make a whole lot of money on because it's a small loan. But use the money that you have. Ask the banker a few important questions. Ask the banker, okay, which business credit bureaus will this loan report to if you guys give me a loan? And ask them, if I paid it off early, is there a prepayment penalty? Will I be penalized for paying it off early? If I pay it off early, will you secure my next loan? See, the bigger amount you add, the more money they loan you. So if you have 40,000, 80,000, then and you actually did those CDs very good, those certificate of deposits, once you deposit money in those accounts and use those funds as collateral and borrowed against and paid it back, 40, 80,000, best believe the banks are going to give you $25,000, $40,000 worth of business credit because you're showing that you know how to manage that credit. Okay? So, which revolving accounts to apply for and when? As I said, don't underestimate the power of using cash to buy your company bigger credit lines, especially when you're looking to build bank loans. Okay? All right, guys. So I just want to end this presentation. And remember, now you have a solid blueprint, a solid plan to build business credit. Don't forget, always map out your business credit plan using your calendar on your cell phone and set reminders, set deadlines, set pop-ups. And learning doesn't stop here, guys, when it comes to business credit. All right? We're going to give you all of the resources that you need in the course to access these credit cards, to access all the tools, websites that you need to build your business credit. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the course. Hope you got all the tools that you need in order to build that business credit. And remember, we're building this business credit at the same time we're building our personal credit. That's why, if you can see the logic, build personal credit, you're going to have conflicts, build business credit at the same time. You got a brand new tax ID number. You're going to build that credit based upon that business. It has nothing to do with your personal credit until you need to be a guarantor. If you don't have the credit, you may have to have a partner as a guarantor, or it's going to take you longer just following the same steps that I just gave you. Stay away. If you can't do it with your personal credit, stay away from any credit cards that I mentioned that require a personal guarantor. All right? We're going to look for alternatives in those if that is the case. All right? So again, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the business credit module in the course, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot.